Hi, welcome back to Therapy Designs. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kelly, and this channel is all about teaching you how to create print-on-demand designs that sell. And be sure to stay tuned till the end of the video because I have another 5 bonus niches for you. So in today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the difference between direct-to-garment printing and direct-to-film printing. And specifically, I was going to talk about Printful's DTFlex printing, which is their version of direct-to-film. And so I did order some shirts with the same design using the direct-to-garment and the direct-to-film, and so I can compare those with you guys, but I'm going to go over all the details for you. So first, DTFlex, that is Printful's premium direct-to-film printing technique. And now they will tell you that unlike the direct-to-garment, which works best on only natural fibers, direct-to-film printing is versatile and you can substitute it for a wide variety of fabrics, such as cotton, polyester, fleece, nylon, and various blends. So it's a little bit more versatile. Direct-to-film printing delivers excellent quality. It's ideal for like colorful photos, colorful designs, graphics, fine art. The ink is pressed into the fabric rather than soaking in, resulting in more vibrant prints. So if you're wondering how the direct-to-film printing works, the design is essentially printed onto a special transfer film with water-based inks. The ink on the film is then coated with a special adhesive powder, and then the design is transferred onto the fabric using a heat press. Now, initially they say the DTFlex prints may feel slightly stiff, but they become smoother and more elastic after a few washes. Ensuring longevity, they are resistant to cracking, fading, and even with heavy use in cold, lukewarm washes. I can tell you, and I'm going to go over it a little bit with you, it does have a plasticky feel to it initially on the top. So it is a lot more like almost like a little plastic sheet over the shirt. And I will share that a little bit more with you guys, but just to, talk about that point there. So on the other hand, we have the direct-to-garment printing, which is probably what most people use. It is what they use for Amazon merch on demand. It's what they've been using on things like Redbubble. And if you were using Printful before, this would have been sort of that gold standard. The direct-to-film is a newer technique that they've got here, but the direct-to-garment printing is a method where the water-based ink is sprayed directly into the fabric, kind of like printing on paper, but on clothing instead. It creates high quality, colorful images, but that they're soft, breathable, and long lasting. Soft and breathable being kind of the key difference, I would say, between the two. The direct-to-garment works on natural fibers like cotton, which absorb the ink and help bring the design to life. It's one of the go-to methods for print on demand because it's perfect for printing one-offs, and complex multicolor artwork. So if you're wondering how the direct-to-garment printing works, the garment is loaded onto a flat surface. It is then pre-treated with a special spray that helps the ink stick to the fabric and keeps the colors looking sharp. The design is then printed with the water-based ink that is jetted directly into the fabric. The garment is then cured in a dryer and the ink, to set and lock in the design. So why should you choose direct-to-garment printing? Well, your design becomes part of the fabric. It doesn't sit on top, which is, again, kind of the main difference. The print stays soft and flexible. It remains uncracked over time-ish. It's great for detailed, colorful designs on hoodies, tote bags, everything. Because there's almost no setup time, the direct-to-garment is fast and efficient. One shirt only takes a few minutes to print, which keeps production costs and time low. So that is why right now it is cheaper to do the direct-to-garment printing than to do the direct-to-film printing. If you choose that, it is going to be an additional cost. Now, the direct-to-garment printing uses non-toxic, water-based, vegan inks that are safe for both kids and adults. The machines are energy efficient and produce zero wastewater, making this a sustainable option for your brand if you care about, sustainability. So then, which method is right for you and your shop? And I would say that it depends really on the design. That's really what it comes down to. So they'll say choose the DTFlex if you have a design with intricate details, lots of colors, or very fine text that you want to be very sharp and very vibrant, and you don't mind spending just a little bit more money. Choose the direct to garment if you have, I would say, bigger, larger designs, photographic designs with subtle color gradients, and you want it to be a lot more soft and breathable. And so really you may choose to use both of these in your shop and just pick the specific printing one based on what design that you're making. So I do have some examples here for you. So what you can see here is just pictures of 3 of my shirts. And so the one on the top and the one on the bottom are the direct to garment printing. The one in the middle is the direct to film. I don't know how well you can tell in a photo. The one in the middle, the direct to film, is a lot sharper. It's got very crisp edges and it's a little bit brighter. And it actually works really well with designs like this, where you've got, text is going to work really good, or, smaller prints, or anything that you really want to be sharp and bright. You can see, by the way, I haven't washed the direct to film one yet, so I don't know how well it's going to hold up in the wash, and I'll let you know after that. The direct to garment will start to kind of crack and peel after it's been washed several times. So you can see the shirt at the very bottom. The H in the therapy has already started to peel off. If you take a close look at the logo, it's kind of cracked. And so you will start to get that with the direct to garment printing. That being said, it is a lot softer. Now, I do have an example of a shirt that I printed for my son, and I did print it also in the direct to film and the direct to garment, but it was a big, large design. And for the life of me, I could not find the one that I printed direct to garment, but I do have the one that I printed direct to film. So this is the design that I printed for my son, and I have it both, like I said, on the direct to film and the direct to garments. This is the direct to film print, and it is a big print. So if you can see, it takes up almost the entire shirt. It's one big solid print. Now, what I don't like about the big solid prints with the direct to film is that it's almost like a big sheet of plastic. And in fact, so if you could feel that, I was just wrinkling the shirt. And when I wrinkle the shirt, you get sort of that plastic cracking noise. And that's what you get when you get those big prints. So if you were going to do something like this, which is just one big giant print on a shirt, you definitely want to go more the direct to garment, because it's going to be a lot softer and it's not just going to feel like a big plastic sheet on your chest. But if you're doing more of like the text-based designs, then the direct to film works really well. So you may play with them, but from what I've seen so far, I'm not going to pick one over the other. I'm going to make it a lot more specific to which design I use. And they're both really good printing techniques. And Printful obviously offers the direct to film and the direct to garment on a lot of different products. So if I jump over to my Printful really quick, they have a whole section for DTFlex products, and they'll say, see the difference, the DTFlex being just a little bit brighter. So if you're doing something with very bright, like neon colors, I have done neon color shirts before, and the direct to garment doesn't look as good because it's not going to give as bright of colors. So if you really do want sort of those neon colors, if you're doing like those 90s style designs, then the DTFlex is probably going to be the best choice. Again, if you're doing more like photographs or very large prints, then the direct to garment is going to be the best choice. What's cool about the DTFlex is they do offer it on hats, and they don't do the direct to garment on hats right now. They do embroidery, which I usually embroider all my hats anyways, but you can also do the DTFlex on the hats, which is pretty cool, and it is going to be, I think, a little bit cheaper than embroidery. I don't know, I'd have to double check that. Let's go ahead and we can see real quick. I can click on this. And so the DTFlex, $11.69, embroidery, $13.49. So yeah, it's a little bit cheaper to do the printing than the embroidery, and you can definitely do the printing on the hats. Cool thing about that is with the embroidery, you can really only pick the 6 colors, unless you do the unlimited color, and then that's an extra $3.50, and then it becomes more expensive. The DTFlex, obviously, because they're printing the design, you can have as many colors as you want, and it can be very bright. And because it's a hat and not a shirt, it's okay that it's got that plasticky feel to it, because you're not wrinkling up a hat the way that you're wrinkling up a shirt. So that is actually a really good option there. So it works really well on the hats, and I do have a couple hats on my Etsy shop now that have the DTFlex on them, but I still mostly use the embroidery for that. Obviously, it goes well on some of the t-shirts, some of the sweatshirts, so they do have it on a ton of different products so far. Obviously not everything. They still have a lot more at this point on the direct to garment printing. But you can see there's just a lot of different options. And when we go to some of these things, like the shirts, so like here I'm on a Gildan kid shirt, it only offers the DTFlex or the embroidery. So this one won't allow you to do the direct to garment, whereas in some of them will. So if I was to go back to, maybe let's just go to products, and we'll just go with men's clothing, and I'm just going to go with t-shirts here. You can see the t-shirts that do the DTFlex. So just your regular Bella canvas here. So your standard Bella canvas is going to offer you embroidery or printing, and with the printing you can do the direct to garment or the DTFlex. And so the direct to garment on the regular Bella canvas, if I look down here, base price is $9.59. If I do the DTFlex, base price becomes $8.48. And then if I was to do embroidery, base price becomes $11.98. And so you can just sort of see the price differences there. And it really just depends what you're going for. And then if you wanted to do the embroidery with the unlimited color, it becomes $15.48. And so just some things to think about. I wanted you guys to be aware of that if you weren't quite sure. I went ahead, ordered it for you so you guys could see, and hopefully this kind of helped you in terms of making up your mind on what kind of printing is going to be best for you. Because you guys were so patient and you did wait until the end of the video, I do have another 5 bonus niches for you. And again, if you ever have any questions, you can put those in the comment section below. I do read all of the comments. Thank you so much for your kind words, and I do try to get back to everybody as quickly as I can. I have been doing some Etsy shop reviews, and I have gotten a ton of requests. And so I haven't forgotten about you guys. If you've given me requests, it's just going to take a while to get to you guys because I only do 2 videos a week, and I try not to do more than 1 Etsy shop review per week. So some of these might be months out, but if you do want me to look at your shop, you can always send me an email. My contact information is below every video, so in the details section below every video. And so you can always send me an email with a link to your shop. I can take a look at it when I get a chance. Again, I hope you guys are doing really well. And so let's go ahead and give you those bonus niches. And so without any more waiting, these are your 5 bonus niches. I've decided to go with a little bit more evergreen style. And because people here tend to be a little bit more Etsy oriented than Amazon oriented, I've decided to go with some of the more popular themes on Etsy. So this week I am going to do bachelorette style shirts. And so again, keeping the humor, but bachelorette style. So niche number 1, I need a huge cocktail, hold the tail. Number 2, experienced cock handler. And this would have a picture of like a rooster. Number 3, team bride. Number 4, the back pain is chronic, but these titties iconic. That's an interesting one. And number 5, Mrs. Silly Goose. And so just things to think about. Obviously, the designs that you make for Etsy may be different than the designs you make for Amazon. We've got totally different kind of clientele, but the overall niche where we do like bachelorette party shirts are very popular on both. And so I'm sure you can think of some cool ways to design for bachelorette parties. And the good thing about those is if you do it, you can sell them in groups, so you can get like multiple sales, I guess, per sale, because you would be selling for the whole bachelorette party, which is usually multiple women. Anyways, again, if you have questions, drop it in the comment section below. I try to get back to everybody as quickly as I can. I hope you guys are continuing to improve your skills, expand your portfolio. Hope your sales are doing good, and I do hope to see you guys again. That's it for today's video. If you found that useful and would like to see more videos with helpful tips and tricks, be sure to hit like and subscribe. and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the weekly videos. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time.